cavernous and dark tunnel a Wood-Elf appears. Sneaking through fallen boulders and rocks, he sneaks silently through the rubble as he motions behind him. The Wood-Elf grasps a spear tightly as he inches through the darkness, eyes alert. Behind him, a human, a dark-skinned Brenthick, walks out, bow in hand, a frosty sheen on the tip of the arrow nocked in the bow. Clambering over a few rocks behind the Brenthick, a shadowy figure appears, falling silently behind, a small humanoid with a long, curved beak and black feathers with beady eyes, dagger at the ready. And as they come around a particularly bad patch of rubble, they see before them 2 giant doors made of iron and embossed with silver, the place that they were looking for. One door, though, was hanging off of its hinges with blood strewn on the other. And then we cut to days before.
Whoa! I've never seen that before.
What is your tribe's sort of like? Where do you guys live? It's obviously in a forest.
Yeah, I mean it's like we don't live like in the middle of the woods. There's like a clearing of just like flat land, I guess. And there's just little like, I mean, it's more than tents, more like huts, like little houses. Like they're like small little hut houses built out of like wood and stuff. Like they're no like Abe Lincoln like house, right. But it's like, you know, it's okay. more than a tent, less than a house.
It's homey.
Yeah,
it's homey while still maintaining.
And there's like little bonfires in between. They have like shit roasting. You know.
Yeah, and so it's a very quaint little clearing. There's a good number of you, maybe like 30 or 40 of you, all wood elves.
Everyone's really close. Like I may be an asshole, but I'm not really an asshole to the tribe.
Right,
just the birds.
Family. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so in the very middle of this clearing is a hut that looks very different than the others. It's more decorated with runes of elvish words and all that, and the audience doesn't know what they say. I don't know what they say. And we see a high elven woman walking into the clearing, being led by a very young wood elf. And the young wood elf says, He's this way, Miss Leaf's right over here. And the high elven woman seems incredibly displeased and wants to get out of here fairly quickly, but she spots the hut and she seems very interested. When coming out of the hut now is Leaf. Would you like to describe Leaf?
He's walking out. His pupils are massive. He has like a little like cape on. It's not a cape. It's like a poncho looking thing, but it's made out of cloth. Uh-huh. It's like what you think like a typical tribe thing would be wearing, but like not the half naked tribes. So he's walking out like that. He's definitely like there's just smoke just flying out of the tent, and then him, and
it's incredibly strong smelling, very exotic, and
he's very colorful.
Yes. And this high elf has never smelled these smells before. And you recognize her as Lilorwyn, your employer. You're the only one in your tribe that works outside of the forest. That's just the kind of person that you were. You kind of wanted to go out and explore, the entire island. And so you took up with Astral Star. And, yeah. So she walks up to you. And she says, well, hello, Leaf. What's going on in there?
Oh, shit, my bad, little Orwin. I thought it was someone else. I'm sorry.
She seems incredibly aghast.
She just fucking jumps backwards like...
I always knew that you were eccentric, but regardless...
I wasn't trying to be eccentric, but it's just like we're just having a big family festival here, and we were just all getting really into it. I'm sorry.
Right. And then stumbling out of the hut is like a very old Wood-Elven man who's like stumbling. He's half naked. He's
screaming,
"Whoa!" He stumbles into a hut, just a little tent off to the side, and he stumbles in and falls on the ground, falls asleep immediately. Ah, I see. Well, I know that this is your time off, and I don't mean to impede on you. You know, we greatly value at the Astral Star Trading Company, but I need you to accompany me to a meeting of sorts.
Can we wait like 3 to 4 hours? Just because I'm not in like the best physical condition to go on a trip right now. Well, on a trip right now, but not on a trip right now.
I see the wordplay. Yes, very good. Yes, take some time to yourself. I will simply go and get acquainted with some of your family members. Maybe get myself a bite to eat.
Help yourself to the finger sandwiches.
I will. And the camera fades and comes back as you and Lilorwind are walking. It is now like nearing sunset, and you guys are walking out of the clearing towards the great big old mountain of Fort Ormal, where the dwarves and gnomes make their residence. And you've never actually been to the dwarven capital. You've never had any reason to go there, really. And Lilorwind says, "This is going to be an interesting mission, Leaf. Something that I haven't had you do any before."
I'm sure I can handle it. It's no big.
Yeah, I do not doubt your abilities.
I just really, really hope that you've thought about this and I don't end up with some kind of bird or something.
I really doubt it. Bird races here are incredibly rare on the Wild Isles.
Yeah, they freak me out. There's just shit everywhere, and I don't know. It just really freaks me out. Like when they fly or when they don't fly, I just don't like it.
Especially when they don't fly, right?
I know, it's bizarre because you know it's a bird, but then it's not complete. It's just some sick creature, some abomination.
It's bizarre, I know. Well, anyway, the task before you. So we are going tomorrow to what they are calling the Ormal Accord. All hoity-toity bullshit. I don't stand for it. But the dwarves of the Order of Iron are growing restless. They think that people are coming in to their lands to steal from them. I don't know. You know how dwarves are.
Unfortunately.
Regardless, I want you to make sure that this sort of goes in our favor. If they ask for any assistance in terms of making trips or being an emissary of some kind, I'm going to put you forward, okay?
Okay, I'm right there with you.
And I just want you to make sure that I'll level you with you. Let me try that again. I will level. Oh my god.
I'll level it.
Here we go. Let me level with you. There we go. The dwarves fear that a war is coming on. There's goblins coming from the west, dragons on the other side of the goblins, and I've heard reports of undead roaming the southern lands. I'm incredibly confused as to that, but I've heard that the dwarves think that some Cyrodiil soldiers are coming in from the south, and I just know that they're going to be getting antsy. And I know we've flourished on this island, this chain of islands. You know, we've grown as a company, and part of that is due to you, Leaf, and we are very thankful of that.
Thank you. And don't get me wrong, I'm totally with the cause, but what are we talking about when it comes to compensation?
Oh, more than you could ever think, sir.
All right, good, because I have to bring it back to the tribe.
Yes, I can see that you guys go through many expenses. Regardless, we just want you to make sure that this conflict that the dwarves are afraid of comes to fruition. In light of a war, funds go up production goes way up. And we don't want to pick sides. We don't pick sides. We're traders. We're guildsmen. You know, we give our production to anyone and everyone. But we've grown tired of current arrangements. But I think you understand what I'm saying, correct?
I understand.
Okay, Leaf. That's why I told my bosses, if we're gonna send anybody on a mission like this, it's gonna be Leaf.
Gone on much more dangerous missions. I think I can handle this.
Oh, absolutely. You remember that time you went into the cave of trolls?
Yeah, I remember that. And like that big thing they almost shoved up my ass. It was just like, I'm just so glad I got away.
I completely forgot about that part.
The club, that's what I was thinking of. It was just, it's so barbaric. It's just sickening, but...
Yeah.
I'm sorry I had to read about that in the mission brief. I mean, the report, not the briefing. But.
Yes, it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. It's absolutely fine. Just know that we here at Astral Star appreciate you, Leaf. And she pulls out a big ol' sack of gems. And she tosses it to you, and you catch it, and you look inside, and it's a hefty sum.
Holy shit, before the job's even done. I'm about it.
Call that incentive. There'll be a lot more waiting for you at headquarters.
I'll be there.
I'm glad, Leaf. I'm glad. And we just have a shot of you two walking down a dirt road towards the great mountain range of Ormal as the sun sets in front of you. Okay, so Gabriel.
Yep.
You walk into one of the deerskin huts that is on your little island here in northern Ormal. It's not a particularly big island, but it's big enough for your people. How many people would you say are in your tribe?
Ooh. Let's just use a round number of 50.
50? Okay, around 50. 50 humans, and then like 30 merfolk.
Yeah.
You see them from the very top of the island. This is your father's hut, your chief. And you look down and you see the humans, the Brenthics, going around. You see fishermen coming back in their little canoes and some of the merfolk swimming alongside. And everyone seems happy. It's been a few years at this point, right, since you've arrived.
Yeah.
And in that, you know, there have been hard times, but you guys are finally getting to a point where you're getting acclimated to everything. This is your new home. For a long time, this is foreign to you. This is an alien land. But since then, you've made contact with other locals, these merfolk included, and things are looking up. Your father has been voicing concerns recently that you don't have enough resources or things aren't perfect. And that's just the kind of person your dad has always been. You know, looking to the horizon, never staying in the moment long enough to really appreciate it, but he's always moving forward. And he called you to his little hut today to discuss something. So you go in, and he's there. There's a small little fire burning. Does that make sense? Yeah. No, it doesn't make sense. This is a hut.
You can have a hole in the roof.
Yeah, he's got a hole in the roof. Smoke's going through the hole. Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
And he's got a small little fire burning. And what is he? Is he old? Like old? Or is he still a strong leader?
He's a strong leader, but his age is kind of starting to show a little bit nowadays.
Okay. So yeah, he's battle scars? Like, is he a warrior or is he just a leader?
He's more of a leader than
a
warrior.
So he's lean, you know, he's fit, but not a warrior. And he's sitting on the floor next to the fire, poking it absent-mindedly as you walk in. I think I'm going to do the Forrest Whitaker voice from Rogue One. Come, my child. I mean, that's like really old, but I can't not do it at this point. I've been hyping myself up for it so much. So there sits your father, Gabriel Icerunner, and he looks up and he gives you a small little smile and he says, "Come, my child." I'm not gonna do it as hardcore. I'm not gonna fucking come, my child. But Gabriel, please sit.
Can I sit?
He says as he sits.
Yep.
Gabriel, you and I both know that we've had hard times here, but I can safely say that we're making it. I've been in talks with the dwarves of the Order of Iron. I think something could be gained. They speak of war, a war of which I don't think we have a place in, but they speak that it is imminent.
Against who? Who are they? What war? Who are we going after?
We are not going after anyone, son.
So who are they going after? My bad.
Oh, yes. Well, they're not going after anyone either. It seems that people are coming to their lands to invade. They spoke of some humans. I think they were Cyrodians from the lands of the south.
Cyrodians. Okay.
I heard they were led by an angel on a holy quest. Yes, I never believed in angels myself. I was a man of nature and the spirits.
Wait, we're talking about the things with the wings, right?
Yes. A war angel by the name of Brisma.
Oh, shit.
They come from the great bridge of Aramea to the south. And they spoke of other evils coming into the islands, but that was their chief issue with current events. And while I don't think this conflict is appropriate for us to put our heads in, I think it is relevant for us to show some solidarity with the dwarves, the Green Triad as well. We've spoken with them many times. You've made a couple of expeditions to the Halfling lands.
Yes, of course. I remember them. They like to drink a lot.
Yes, this is one of my favorite things about them, honestly.
Oh, so good, so good. I'm ready to go back.
Yes, one day soon, my child, but I'm sending you and two of our finest warriors to a summit with the dwarves and the Triad and a few other factions.
Okay.
It is going to be the Ormal Accord, they said.
Ormal Accord.
And they said it is going to be very important for the future of this island. And if we are going to make our home here for much longer, I think it is time for us to stand tall, even from this small little island.
Of course. Your wisdom knows no bounds, Father.
Oh, I'm not perfect, son, but I only hope that I can pass my flaws and be a better father to you.
You're the best father.
Let's not cry, son.
Sorry, yep, sorry.
Your father is emotionally absent. Anyway, so take Kilut and Uberak with you to the southlands of the island. Here is a map. And he reaches to the side and pulls out a little tube, and it's got a map of the area and the way that you should take. But you don't need this map. You're very acclimated to this island at this point. You've been to one side and the other at least once.
Right.
You've been all over this place, and you believe in your ability to get to the Dwarven lands very easily.
100%.
And your father stands, and he goes to his to like a desk, I guess, and he starts to fiddle with some stuff. And he says, "And son, I think it is finally time that I give you your birthright." And he pulls a key out of a drawer, and he goes over to a large armoire sort of thing. He puts the key in, and he turns it, and it opens, and there's a suit of armor, of leather armor, very intricate, with like beautiful little designs depicting things from nature and things from the tundra, your homeland, yetis and wolves and all that, things that you haven't seen in years because they aren't really here.
Right.
And that is your father's ceremonial armor. He looks at that and he kind of smiles to himself because it's been a long time since he's had to wear that. But he looks to the side, and there is the bow. And this bow. What is the name of this bow?
The Judicator.
The Judicator. It's a little short bow. Same intricate designing, but it has a blue glow to it whenever your father touches it. Around his fingers, you see that the wood becomes frosted over to his touch. And he pulls it out, and he says, "Son, it is finally time for you to wield the weapon of our ancestors. It is time for you to wield the Judicator."
Ooh.
Gabriel shudders happily to himself.
I do this little dance and start clapping.
"Son, we are a proud people. Please do not do that dance in front of me."
Sorry. I get excited. Can I hold it, please?
I'm holding it out to you literally as you say that.
Take it. It's mine.
It is yours, son. And while you are there at the Accord, I need you to set the wheels in motion to plant ourselves on this island as a real force to be reckoned with. I think that our people will be lost without the help of the dwarves and the triad.
I agree. I think we definitely need to start laying some foundations for some trade work and everything. We need to set ourselves as a real group of people here, you know?
I agree, my son, yes. One day you will make a great leader of your tribe. I cannot wait to see that day.
Well, you'll be dead, but...
You got me there, kid. I meant as a spirit, asshole. We are never truly gone from this world. Although hopefully my spirit will return to the tundra.
I pray that it does.
Get out of here, kid. This voice is just kind of taking a turn to, get out of here, dude.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, basically. Alright, yeah, and you walk back out, and already before you is, oh man, what were those names I even said? I don't even remember.
I don't remember.
The two names, one strong-looking man, corded muscles, not wearing a shirt, that's how strong he is, with a large axe on his back, and then a woman with a sword clipped to her belt, and a fine leather armor stand before you. And she says, "Alright, sir, you ready?"
Always.
Alright, let's be off.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
And you sing a little song as you go. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. We open up on a small little office. It's neat, well furnished, but not overcrowded. Most things in here are in aged wood, grays and browns. And in the center of this room is a very ornate but still rigid desk. And behind it, with his feet on the desks and a chair cocked back, is a half-elf with short hair, a glint in his eyes, and he sits there picking under his nails with a knife, kind of manicuring them a little bit, when in walks a Kenku, a stout little raven with no wings. Would you like to describe further what you look like, Zach?
I am fairly short. My limbs are very lithe, but my potbelly sticks out, noticeably so. Covered, with an ebon cloak of sorts. Not enough to restrain my movements, but enough to cover my body. A long, sharp beak, curves ever so slightly on the end, which is common for Kenku. Beady-looking black eyes. You can never really tell which way I'm looking.
I can't imagine you'd be able to see the pupils in those things.
No, and towards the sleeve of my cloak or whatever, like where the armholes, if you will, you can see like the black feathers fading, like tapering off to like almost a midnight blue shade.
Ooh. So you walk on in, The door closes behind you. This room is spacious, but not overbearingly so. And before you is Alec, the leader of your spy network, whom you've never met before. You've heard, tall tales, what you can assume are tall tales, of his exploits and how he has been leading this guild for way too, longer than any half-elf should have lived. And just any story you can think of, somebody's told it about Alec. And you walk in, and Alec looks up from his nails and perks his head up. "Oh, Chirper, good to see you finally made it. Please, have a seat."
Hello! And then he's like, his head is like twitching around as birds do, and he hops on top of the chair. He doesn't take a seat, he perches.
I've forgotten how much I love you, Kenku. Just, the best people. He seems so excited to be able to look at a Kenku. You can tell that he has never really been able to observe one of your kind before, and he just seems giddy at the fact. Now, Chirper, I've called you in from your previous assignment in the Central Parish. The infiltration work that you've been doing for us has been just absolutely astonishing. Can I say that? I'll have to get used to
this is gonna be it, Dylan. It's gonna be a different voice every time I open my mouth.
I love it. I'm gonna have to get used to that way of talking that you have, but let me say I love it. Absolutely. And he stands up and begins to kind of pace behind his desk as he begins to think. The work you did in the Central Parish, like I said, is commendable work. You were there for so long that I feel like some of your higher-ups may have forgotten about you. What exactly was the exploits you did with the bicycle gangs down there?
The keys under the rock.
Oh, right. I do remember your overseer saying things about the keys and the bicycles. Yes. Can I say, lovely stories. And he stops walking and stops in front of one of the drawers in his desk, and he pulls it open. And as he leans down, you see around his neck, he has so many different necklaces and somewhat gaudy jewelry. You can barely even make out how many there are. It's close to 7 or 8 before he stands back up, and he's holding in his hand a scroll. I didn't pull you out of the bicycle gang for, an easy reason. Like I said, you were doing tremendous work down there, but something else has come to my attention. I'm sure you've heard of the Wild Isles of Dreund. Up north of here, you go past the deserts of, I almost said Shamalama Ding Dong or something. You go past... Shamalama and your lama ding dong. You go past the everlasting deserts of...
Ooh, mau.
Chirper is saying this. Dude, Chirper is gonna be able to sing songs like that?
If I've heard it before.
I don't know if it's gonna be perfect. Like I was saying, you go past the deserts, past one mountain range, 2 mountain ranges. It's far. That's all I'm going to say. You get to the Wild Isles of Dreund. I have recently been contacted by a faction, I guess you could say, of people there that have a vested interest in keeping their priorities at number 1 of all the players that are up there. I'll have a more detailed report for you. That's actually what I'm holding here, and he holds it out for you.
I quickly snatch it.
With your beak or with your hand?
With my hand.
With your hand, okay, cool. He takes no heed of it. He just stands back up. Now, I understand that you have worked within stricter parameters than this, but let it just be known that this client is, how would you say it, incredibly finicky. And normally, I don't like clients like that. It's not easy to do business. I mean, none of our business is easy. I'm sure you of all people can understand that. But it's hard to please finicky people. And I am in the people-pleasing business, Chirper. I'm sure you understand that. But I've made a special exception for these clients. And you'll find in the ledger there, all of your instructions and stuff. But I just want to remind you that our number one priority here at the Mosaic, and he kind of leans down over his desk and hovers his head a lot closer to you, and he gets a lot more somber as he says this, but just remember that the power is never held by any one person. Remember that. We are here not to spread chaos or anarchy. I know people like to say that. I've heard the people talking around the water cooler and all that. But just remember, don't let the power become one with one person. Can you do that for me, Chirper?
You can count on me.
I'm the
very best.
And Chirper, that's why I picked you. I had so many other candidates just lining up outside in the hall. I'm sure you may have even seen them. We had Bobble the Goblin, we had Clark, Isaac. What was he even doing here? He's supposed to be somewhere else, So many people come from so far and wide trying to get onto my good side that they completely forget what this organization is even about. Chaps my hide, I tell you. And he he sits back down and he says, "Well, I won't keep you any longer, Chirper."
Sorry, I'm cracking myself up.
See, I understand that
chaps my hide. Chaps my hide.
Oh yes, you like that one, don't you?
Chaps my hide.
Chirper, I'm gonna like working with you. I don't do this very often, but... And he pulls open his vest that he's wearing, and he reaches in to a pocket, and he pulls something out. It's like a little bauble, and he goes, "Oh, well, not that." Puts it back in to that same pocket, digs back into that pocket, and he kind of gives you a side eye, and he goes, "Don't mind this." And he reaches almost his entire arm into that pocket. You hear some rattling, almost like coins being thrown around, and he reaches his arm back out. And it's a smooth stone, completely circular, and just like matte gray. And it's on a little chain of iron chains, I should say. And he hands it out to you, it dangling from his finger. Jeb, I would like you to take this with you. Okay.
Before I can finish this sentence, I snatch with my bottom foot and grab it.
Okay. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay. Now with that, if you wear it around your neck, you have a neck, right? And he kind of cranes to make sure that you have a neck.
As he's looking, I stretch my neck obscenely far out.
Perfect. Okay. With that around your neck, I'll be able to communicate with you, telepathically, over large distances. Now, it'll only work when I'm sort of near the vicinity of the Isles, but let's just say that the events that are going to be unfolding with the client that you'll be working for might be a big deal. Now, it's not to put pressure on you, Chirper, although I know you can work with it.
He nods.
Perfect.
I'm the very best.
And Alec just starts to giggle to himself as he leans back in his chair and puts his feet up.